Hi everyone, this is T Dinesh Kumar. In this video, I'm going to explain you about the applications of GPS in geophysics. A continuous global positioning satellite tracks networks are being established by a variety of national and international organizations to provide basic infrastructure for space age navigation, surveying, science, engineering, and atmospheric sensing. The emerging networks present opportunities for a variety of geoscience applications. To make the most of these opportunities, the geoscience community should clarify and communicate its research goals to organizations establishing global positioning networks. GPS having GPS satellites and networks began to establish soon after the space age was deployed, since it was recognized that the orbits of satellites provided a valuable reference frame for global navigation systems. Today, the 24 satellite GPS operated by the Department of Defense is the most widely used system, followed by a smaller group of Russian satellites called GLONASS. These systems may be augmented by future commercial low Earth orbiting communication and positioning satellite services. The reference frames of satellite orbits and the Earth's crust are linked using ground-based tracking networks. The first global GPS tracking network was established more than 15 years ago by the United States Department of Defense, which included a network having 5 tracking stations, and it was used to determine the orbital positions with an accuracy of about 10 meters. More recently, the International Association of Geodesy IEAG established the International GPS Service for Geodynamics, comprising more than 50 international organizations to support geodetic and geophysical GPS applications. Example was given in Zuckerberg et al. In 1994. The IGS network includes more than 50 globally distributed tracking stations that provide high accuracy GPS orbits with approximately 10 centimeter accuracies, allowing users to place their GPS stations in international terrestrial reference frame with centimeter accuracies. The regional continuous GPS networks designed mainly to monitor strains for earthquake research and forecasting have been operated in Japan and California for several years. A similar network in Sweden was designed to measure post-glacial deformation that has operated for more than a year. Similar systems are being established across Europe, Australia, and other regions also. In addition, networks are designed to improve GPS accuracy are being established for aircraft, coastal navigation, to support surveying applications, for dam, dike monitoring, and for atmospheric measurements. The navigation, increasingly land, sea, and air vehicles are making increasing use of the capability of GPS to determine point positions with an accuracy of about 100 meters. Positioning with so-called DGPS or the differential GPS, which uses radio links between mobile and fixed GPS receivers, provides relative positions in real time with an accuracy of 10 centimeter to 1 meter for civil aviation and coastal navigation. An example of the use of DGPS is the coordination of highways and railroad traffics that we are using now. In science, high accuracy GPS positioning has been improved by 2 orders of magnitude during the past decade, and now millimeter accuracies are being routinely achieved. This high accuracy makes GPS useful for tectonic, earthquake, volcano, earth rotation, sea level, satellite elementary, glaciology, meteorology, global climate, ionosphere, hydrology, and ecology studies. In engineering, surveying, and resource management, the GPS is also being used for surveying, monitoring dams, dikes, landslides, and subdunes, positioning civil infrastructure for use in GIS, time transfer for telecommunication systems, automated construction, facilities management, precise farming, forest and resource management with natural resource exploration also. In weather forecasting, by exploiting the delays in the GPS signals introduced by water vapor and other components of the atmosphere, GPS networks can provide valuable data for assimilation into numerical weather prediction models. This is just an example of the diagram where the geodynamics can be obtained. So you can see the solid inner core, we have Mandel convention, we have the thermal boundary, we have transition, then we have the lower Mandel, then we have the upper Mandel, and after the upper Mandel we have the ionosphere, then we have subduction. So where on all these things we have our environment. So the amount of terrains, the amount of volcanoes, the amount of water bodies, the amount of pollution or whatever might be can be easily monitored by using this application of GPS. So these are the exploration methods. If you want to find land gravity, position horizontal should be 10 and position in vertical should be 0.03 in meters. Suitable methods are DGPS static, L1, L2, rapid static, semi-kinematic L1 or L1 and L2. For real-time semi-kinematic L1 and L2 are to be used with the appropriate processing PP. So marine gravity with 100, horizontal, vertical with 3, DGPS, real-time pure kinematic bands for them, and the appropriate processing methods. Airborne gravity 100 horizontal positioning, vertical 3, DGPS is being used with real-time pure kinematic and pure kinematic bands. Land seismic horizontal positioning of 5, vertical as 1, DGPS, the static, rapid static, real-time semi-kinematic. Marine seismic activities with horizontal positioning of 5 meters and vertical not required. Why? Because it is below the surface of the earth, so or along the surface of the earth. So with DGPS, real-time DGPS, real-time pure kinematic or pure kinematic mechanisms with its appropriate processing and appropriate frequency bands. So we can do ground magnetics with vertical as with a height of 3 meters where horizontal is not required. So DGPS, static, C bar A, course or acquisition can be used, rapid static, intermittent static, semi-kinematic, RTD, GPS. RTD, semi-kinematic with different frequency bands. In aeromagnetics, DGPS of about 15-meter horizontal positioning on 1 meter vertical positioning can be done by using a suitable GPS method of pure kinematic L1, L2 or L1 and L2 and pure kinematic system. General airborne applications can be done with point GPS or DGPS, real-time pure kinematic or real-time pure kinematic in both the bands. Reconnaissance exploration can be done up to 100 meters of horizontal positioning with point GPS or C bar A methods. General navigation up to 100 meters in horizontal can be done with same point GPS or course bar acquisition as in this table. Then large scale grinding can be done up to 50 to 100 horizontal meter positioning, DGPS, RT, real time and static C bar A. And small scale gridding can be done up to 5 to 10 meter of horizontal positioning where DGPS, RTD can be done with static or intermittent static. Detail gridding can be done up to a vertical height of 1 meter with horizontal positioning of 0.1 to 1 meters. So the technology or the method can be adopted is DGPS, RT semi-kinematic on all the frequency bands. So here a detailed expansion of the processing methods. PP represents your post processing, RT represents your real time processing, C bar A is your course or acquisition code pseudo ranges, where L1 is the carrier phase single phase carrier, L1 and L2 is a dual frequency carrier. The applications of GADSA is that floodplain mapping, which relies on accurate heights and supports the local officials and home owners to locate the floodplains in their area. Boundary determination, it relies on accurate positioning and supports land surveyors as well as GIS analytics and property owners about the boundary of their house, building, or land, whatever they have. In construction, it is used in construction of roads, dams, airports, and ports that relies on accurate positioning too and supports engineers, pilots, and many more. In physical sciences, it relies on accurate geospatial information where study plate tectonics, hydrology, or even more can be done. So you can see some of those examples in diagram. Floodplains, boundaries, determining boundaries, construction sites, and in sciences. References for my presentation is Lange RB, why is the GPS signal so complex in the GPS world? Ben Hoffman, Bellenhoff, H. Riginger, and J. Collins, GPS theory and practice. Alenic GPS satellite surveying, John Willisons. Wells D. et al. Guide to GPS positioning. Kaplan E. Understanding GPS principles and applications. Shaw M.K. Sandhu and Turner, Modernization of the Global Positioning System. Langley R.B. The Mathematics of GPS. Conley R.F. Life After Selective Availability. B. Parkinson, J. Springer Jr., GPS Theory and Applications. A. Klunsberg and P. Tunising, GPS for Geodesy. Ahmad L. Rabani, Introduction to GPS, the Global Positioning System. GPS for Dummies by Joel McNamara, 2008. Understanding GPS Principles and Applications by Elliot Kaplan and Christopher Hegarty. Applications of GPS website. Civilian applications of GPS website. GPS World website. A Guide to GLONASS website. Official Galileo homepage website. Ice Shelf Tidal Animations website. For any questions, you can comment in my comment box. For further videos, kindly subscribe to my channel. Thank you.